So this is the Xiaomi Pad 7, and hear me out on this one. This is a tablet that gets you a 3.2K 144Hz IPS display, Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 CPU, 8850 mAh battery, and a full metal build. All of that under 30,000 rupees. And I've been using this tablet for the last 30 days, and in this video, I want to share my experience with you guys. I'll talk about things like the design and build quality, the display, the performance, battery life, speakers, and I'll also talk about the little details, like how good is the camera, what's the note-taking experience like, can you use third-party accessories. This video is going to tell you everything you need to know about Xiaomi Pad 7, all that after a message from today's sponsor. With Ninjatools.ai, you get access to powerful AI models like GPT-o3, DeepSeek R1, Gemini, and Claude, all starting at just $11 a month. Plus, they have a super cool AI playground feature that lets you chat with all these AI models simultaneously. It's perfect for experimenting, brainstorming, and getting the most out of AI technology. But that's not all. Ninjatools.ai also offers a seamless and user-friendly interface, making it super easy to switch between different AI tools and find the right one for your needs. Whether you're crafting engaging posts, designing stunning visuals, or optimizing your content for better reach, Ninjatools.ai has got you covered. I'll leave all the necessary links in the description down below, like their website, their Discord server, as well as my discount code, which is techdroidsyt. So if you do sign up from that, it gives me a small commission and also gives you guys 20% off. With that out of the way, let's talk about the Xiaomi Pad 7. Starting off with the unboxing, packaging is very similar to last year. You have a picture of the tablet on the front, some highlights on the back. Lift that lid up and you're greeted with the tablet itself. I have the Pad 7 here in the graphite gray color, but there are two other colors. There is Mirage Purple and Sage Green. Next up are the accessories, and there is an upgrade here. So with the Pad 7, you get a 45 watt fast charging adapter versus the 33 watt you got on the Pad 6. So the Pad 7 can charge from 0 to 100 in 1 hour, 20 minutes. But the battery capacity remains the same, so that's kind of a letdown. Next up, you have your USB Type-C to Type-A cable and a quick start guide. That's pretty much it. There is no SIM ejector tool here since this is Wi-Fi only. Now, starting off with the design and build quality, the Pad 7 looks very similar to the Pad 6. It's got a full metal build, so aluminum back, aluminum frame, and Gorilla Glass 3 on the front. It's got a very simple and clean design. Flat sides, rounded corners, very similar to the iPad. The tablet is 6.2 millimeters in terms of thickness and 500 grams in terms of the weight. It's not that heavy, like the weight distribution feels really good and it's very comfortable to use and hold in my opinion, even though it's a big device. It's an 11.2 inch screen, but the tablet feels really nice and comfortable to hold. Now, doing a quick little overview, you've got a USB Type-C 3.2 port on the bottom with your two speakers. On the left side, you have nothing, it's clean. Towards the top, you've got two more speakers with the Dolby Atmos branding and your power button. Towards the right, you've got your volume rockers, and you have the magnetic strip where you'll attach the stylus. And towards the back, you have your accessory connector for the keyboard. Now, the camera module on the Pad 7 is inspired from the Mi 14 series of smartphones. It looks like there's multiple cameras here, but there's only one 13 megapixel sensor on the back with a flashlight and an IR blaster. So you can use the Pad 7 to control appliances in your home, like your air conditioner and your TV. Also, as I mentioned before, I have the Pad 7 in the graphite gray color, which is very similar to Apple's space gray. It's a very professional looking color. Depending on how light hits it, you're gonna get different shades. You'll also get black sometimes, but there are two other colors in the Pad 7. There is Mirage Purple and Sage Green. My only complaint with this graphite gray is that both the front and the back is a fingerprint magnet. It gets covered in fingerprints the moment you start using it, so do wipe it down every now and then to keep it clean. Also, the camera bump is kind of thick, so let's say you lay the tablet flat on a desk, it does wobble. It's a little detail, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Now, talking about the display on the Mi Pad 7, we have a 11.2 inch 3.2K IPS LCD display with 144Hz refresh rate and 800 nits of peak brightness. The resolution is 2136 into 3200, so 3:2 aspect ratio, giving it a 344 ppi. It has thinner bezels compared to the Mi Pad 6 and a bigger screen. The screen to body ratio is 85.8%, and yes, it does have support for HDR10 as well as Dolby Vision, and I can confirm all of that works in Netflix as well. The only downside here is that if you're watching native 16:9 content, you will have black bars on the top as well as bottom, but other than that, the display is great. It's got really good brightness, it gets plenty bright for well-lit environments as well as outdoor use. It's really sharp, color reproduction is good. It's one of the best IPS panels I've seen in a long time on any device. It's not OLED. OLED is always going to be better, but I don't think it's possible to give you an OLED display at this price with these kind of specifications. And yeah, I really like the display. Something else that adds to that immersive media experience are the speakers on this tablet. You've got quad speakers, so 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And these are some of the best speakers, again, I've heard on any tablet. They get really loud, there's good bass, the clarity is good, dynamic range is good, and even on max volume, there is zero distortion. So if you are by yourself in a small room, you do not need a Bluetooth speaker, you don't need headphones. I'd say just use this tablet. The speakers are amazing. Whether you're watching movies, whether you're listening to music, or even if you're listening to podcasts, the vocals come out really clear on this tablet. The speakers are just amazing, and they do support Dolby Atmos, so yes, you're getting the best sound, a really good display overall. If you're looking for a Netflix media machine, if you want something to binge watch shows, if you are heavy into watching YouTube videos, I think this is one of the best tablets you can get in this price. Now, talking about the hardware on this tablet, you've got a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3 CPU, which is based on the 4nm chipset, coupled with the Adreno 732 GPU. You can get it with 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM. I have the 8 GB variant here, and you can get it with either 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. The 128 gigabyte variant is going to be UFS 3.1, and the 256 gigabyte is going to be UFS 4.0. So if you do upgrade to the higher end storage, it's going to get faster. And you have a 8850 mAh battery that charges via USB-C at 45 watts. So it can go from 0 to 100 in an hour and 20 minutes. And the USB-C port here is USB 3.2, so you get faster data transfers. Let's say you connect a SSD or some sort of external storage, you are going to get really good speeds. And Xiaomi is not compromised on any of the essential specifications. All the fundamentals are right on this tablet. And I did run some Geekbench 6 for some synthetic benchmarks, and I'll put the scores on your screen right now. But again, as I always say, benchmarks do not tell you the full story. This tablet feels fast. It's very snappy. Apps open up and close really quickly. Multitasking feels great. And if you are doing basic tasks on this tablet, like email, browsing, watching YouTube videos, playing some light games here and there, all of that is super quick. And I did run some games like Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact. In Call of Duty Mobile, I was able to get 60 FPS at high settings, and I was able to get 90 FPS at low settings. The gaming experience was really smooth. There was barely any lag while playing Call of Duty Mobile. And I also ran Genshin Impact, which is highly demanded from you guys. That also ran at 60 FPS in the smooth preset. Now, the settings do go down, so you're playing Genshin Impact at low or medium to get that 60 FPS. But I think the gaming experience was really good in my opinion. Now, talking about software, you've got Android 15, and on top is going to be HyperOS 2 for tablet, which means it has some specific features to make use of that big display. Starting off with that always persistent dock. So this is going to be there on your screen all the time. It does go away when you're in an app, but you can bring it up by sliding up from the bottom. And you can also slide right or left to switch apps. Now, talking about multitasking, you have a few features like side-by-side window and floating window. Side-by-side window basically lets you have two apps open at the same time in full screen mode, and you can customize the space each app takes on your screen by just sliding from the middle. And floating window is self-explanatory. So basically the app is going to float as a mini window on your screen. You can have, for example, YouTube open and Google Chrome open as a floating window if you want to take notes or something, or vice versa. And the floating window feature is, again, very useful in my opinion. Let's say you're watching videos or texting on WhatsApp, you can have something else open as a floating window. Now, there is a new feature this time around called workstation mode, which kind of tries to mimic the desktop experience. It lets you have 3 apps open at the same time in the floating window mode. In my opinion, it's not that useful. I did not use it much, but again, all of these features are there and they work. Apart from that, overall, the software is clean, not too much bloatware. Some Me apps, some apps like Netflix, WPS Office were pre-installed. There are ads in this tablet, so let's say you open the File Manager app or some other Me app, it will show you ads, but you can skip them or just completely stop using those apps that give you ads. Overall, software was good in my opinion. And yeah, you've got no promises for updates. It does come with Android 15. I have received a small software update since I got the tablet, but Xiaomi does not promise on any OS version updates. So yes, it is on Android 15. I hope it gets Android 16 at least, but it is what it is. And since this is HyperOS 2, you do get the new lock screen customization feature. And I'm being honest, some of those lock screens which are pre-installed actually look really good with the fonts and the background image, so do try it out if you happen to buy this tablet. Now talking about the cameras on this tablet, you've got a 13 megapixel sensor on the back and an 8 megapixel sensor on the front. The front camera in my opinion is really good. It's placed right here on the top and it's placed in a landscape orientation because most of the time you will be using this tablet in landscape orientation, and it's a very wide angle camera, so you get that ultra wide perspective, which is really good if you're doing video calls or Zoom meetings, if you're taking online classes. It lets you have a lot of your background visible, and pictures and videos from the back camera also look really good. So this 13 megapixel sensor can give you 4K 30 FPS video as well as 1080p 60 FPS video. From the front camera, you can do 1080p 30 FPS video as well. And the pictures turned out to be really good for a tablet. Now, most of the time, people use their cameras on the tablet to, scan documents, take pictures of notes and stuff. The front camera is used for meetings and video calls. And for that, this camera is really good in my opinion. You're not going to be shooting Avatar 3 on this tablet anytime soon. But yeah, overall, the cameras are decent. And I did show you guys some camera samples. And here is a front camera video sample from the Mi Pad 7. So this is a front camera sample of the Xiaomi Pad 7, recorded in 1080p 30 FPS, and this is how the video quality is as well as the audio from the internal mics. Now talking about battery life, as I mentioned before, it has an 8850 mAh battery. It's only 10 mAh more compared to the Mi Pad 6. It charges via USB-C at 45 watts. The adapter is included in the box and it can go from 0 to 100 in about an hour and 20 minutes, which is actually very fast for that kind of battery capacity. And the battery lasts really long. I was able to get 8 to 10 hours of screen on time easily on my light usage. Even with mixed use, I think you should be able to get 6 to 8 hours of screen on time really easily. If you are a heavy user, it's possible to kill this tablet sooner. Let's say you're playing games, using the camera a lot, doing heavy multitasking, things like video editing, photo editing, or just heavy gaming in general will kill this tablet. But overall, the battery life, in my opinion, was really good. Usually, I keep the tablet at 50% brightness, watch some YouTube videos, do some email, do some browsing, social media, scrolling through Facebook and Instagram. All of that is not really intense, so it does last a really long time. Now, let's say the tablet dies, you can charge it up actually really quickly. Now talking about accessories for the Mi Pad 7, you've got 3 official accessories. There's the Xiaomi Focus Pen, which is the stylus. There's a keyboard cover and a folio case. I did not buy any of those. Also, the Pad 6 stylus, which is the Generation 2 pen, does not work on the Pad 7. The Pad 7 stylus will not work on Pad 6. These accessories are not backwards compatible. The only difference between the two styluses is that the new Focus Pen has 8096 levels of pressure sensitivity and the Pad 6 Generation 2 pen had half that. Overall, the note-taking experience is going to be decent since I had reviewed the Pad 6 with the official stylus. My only complaint is that they do give you an extra tip, but the tip wears out very quickly and you will have a faulty stylus in about 6 months. So if you really need it, get it and use it. But again, there are no replacement tips available offline or online that you can rely on. You will have to buy a stylus, new stylus altogether if your current one becomes faulty. Other than that, experience in note-taking is going to be decent. There are a bunch of note-taking apps you can use on Android. There's the default Notes app. There's also a bunch that you can download from the Play Store. If you're a student, I think note-taking wise, you should go with the iPad and the Apple Pencil. That's the holy grail. That's the best experience. Second best is going to be Samsung. And number 3, I would say, is going to be Xiaomi. Note-taking is possible. It's a decent experience. If you're a student or, if you're into digital art or graphics design, you can consider this tablet, but it's not going to be my top recommendation. Just know that. Talking about third-party accessories, yes, you can use third-party styluses as well as keyboards. I did order a set from Amazon. In terms of stylus, the thing is that Xiaomi uses a proprietary digitizer below the screen, so none of those third-party styluses are going to give you palm rejection, which is a big deal breaker because you cannot write on the screen without having your palm on it. So that's that. I do not recommend you guys buy any third-party styluses. I've tried 3 or 4. I ordered them from Amazon and then returned them because they did not work. In terms of keyboard cases, I got this one from Amazon for about 3,000. It was cheap in terms of quality. It'll get the job done, but the typing experience is horrible. if you really need those accessories, get the original ones from Xiaomi. In terms of connectivity, you've got Bluetooth 5.4 with LHDC 5 support and Wi-Fi 6E. You've also got all the basic sensors like accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass, and you can play back high-res audio wirelessly as well as wired. It does support 24-bit 192 kilohertz high-res audio. Now let's talk about the things that the Mi Pad 7 does not have, and we'll move towards the conclusion in a bit. Starting off with haptics. There is no haptics, there is no vibration motor, there is no SIM card slot, this is Wi-Fi only. There is also no micro SD card expansion, so you will have to get the 256GB variant if you need more storage. There is also no water resistance rating and no biometrics, so no fingerprint scanner, no Face ID. You'll have to use pattern or PIN. But none of these things are huge deal breakers in my opinion. These are very smart decisions that Xiaomi takes with the Pad series to cut the cost down, to keep it under that 30,000 rupees price. Now talking about my final verdict, my honest experience after using the Pad 7 for a month, I'm really happy with it. I'm satisfied. No complaints, no issues so far. Most people buying an Android tablet in this price category fall into two categories. One are the people who need a device for consuming content and playing games and doing basic tablet stuff, multitasking, reading ebooks. And the other category is students who want a note-taking device to attend classes and just have a companion device through their education. And I think the Pad 7 does a good job at both of those things. Again, if you want the best note-taking experience, get the iPad with an Apple Pencil or a Samsung tablet. But the Pad 7 also is a good contender in this price bracket. There is no other tablet on the market that's going to give you so much value for the same price. And even the base variant at 28,000 rupees is amazing. And I would say if you want a tablet, an Android tablet in this price bracket, you can go ahead and buy the Mi Pad 7. Total thumbs up from my side. I'll leave links in the description down below. Those are going to be affiliate links. If you buy from those, it helps the channel out. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions or queries. That's pretty much it for this review. Like if you found this video helpful, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's try to hit 50,000 subscribers really soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.